Folks, thank you for joining us here today. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's something my grandma used to tell me all the time growing up as a child. Honey, don't sweat the small stuff. Being young, even today, people take these challenges, these problems, or they make them problems because of their mindset, and we stress over it 24/7. And early in life, I could never understand why my grandmother, her birthday just passed a few days ago. Love her. April 24th was the birthday. She always says, honey, don't sweat the small stuff. And I never understood why until I got older. And I realized most of the time, these problems that we face, these obstacles, these challenges that we face are not really that bad. It's just part of life. But yet we sweat the small stuff so bad we make these little anthills into mountains. So I'm going to share with you today just a few topics, just a few, of what we come across on a daily basis of folks reaching out to us, trying to scale their fingerprint business, trying to start their fingerprint business. Because we take in these issues, we make them bigger than we need to, or sometimes we try and we create these problems that doesn't even exist yet. So I need you guys to listen to this one here closely, and I need you guys to subscribe and join our YouTube channel. Because this one here is from the heart. I'm just scratching the surface. I got more information about this later on, but right now I'm just scratching the surface. But I need you guys to understand you need to take this to heart to how to start a fingerprint business or how to scale your fingerprint business. One of the most important things is about setting up your business environment. What I mean by that, time and time again, we see a lot of folks fail and don't even realize yet down the line in the fingerprint business. What they're doing right now, starting up a fingerprint business, we already know they're going to fail in 3 to 6 months from now because they're doing things they shouldn't need to do right this moment. We have members, we have folks out there in the industry right now who's looking for office space to start a fingerprint business. I understand why. But your why, looking for it, may not be the best thing for you right now. Or I should say, what type of office space you're looking for. A lot of folks get out there and try to get these big fancy office spaces in the high rent areas, and they go ahead and get these office spaces and make these long-term commitments for a so-called deal. And the problem here is that you never rent office space before in your life. And I know this is the best deal because they told you it's the best deal. And why you can make a long-term commitment on the office space you never done business before? Why can't it be a short-term commitment? Did you even think about asking for a 3-month contract or a 6-month contract versus a year, 2 or 3 year obligation? Why? Because you saw someone on YouTube give a bunch of crap so you can make $1 million the next day. You can make $10 million. You can make $10,000 the following month because I did it myself. Bullshit. Don't fall for the hype. I need you guys to take this seriously because I'm trying to share with you how you should start a business, and that's something you need to slow your roll, think things through, don't get too emotional about this, and be realistic. Now, if you want to get an office space, be careful. Nobody says you get an office space that holds 5 or 6 desks. Why can't it be a hole in the wall? Why can't it be a very small office space just to fingerprint them and kick them out the smile on their face? Nobody says you get the fancy couches, the fancy chairs, the fancy TVs, just to fingerprint. They're not going to live there. Hell, they ain't paying the rent. So hear me out. And there's folks out here doing this right now, getting these large office spaces because they believe in themselves, which I understand. But does your future customer believe in you? Do they know, like, and trust you? Your belief in yourself is different from what the customers value you, what they're going to pay you if they're going to come to you. So I'd like for you guys to focus on this instead. Find a location where you can generate the income, but do your research, okay? Get a smaller office. Get a share space if you have to, especially in ink card fingerprinting. Or get yourself a virtual office where you can at least grow into that location based off the needs of the service. Nobody says you have to have yourself a fancy office right away starting a brand new venture. These office spaces are not cheap. So if you're brand new, get a virtual office, work remotely from home, meet your customers there if you have to, and based off your needs and services, expand. And certain locations may have these virtual offices where you get your own office downline. Okay, at the same location. We got plenty of members who took that route, are quite successful today. We have other folks who went ahead and did the opposite, got a very large office space. Realized the business wasn't there the very next day. And now they're regretting it. And they stuck with this long-term commitment. That's just one thing. All right. Another thing that we see here all the time is people are so overwhelmed trying to generate income. They try to do everything up under the sun. And they're doing fingerprinting. They're doing notarizations. They're doing DMV registrations. Oh, what? I could do drug testing too. I'm doing drug testing too all of a sudden. Oh, I could do document signing. I can do document signing too. Document processing. Oh, what? I could be an Uber driver too. I'm doing Uber driver too. They're doing 20,000 things at one time without getting a chance to one of these markets to see how it works out. And now you got this business card with 20,000 things on it. And the customer looking like, oh, wow. So you Joe the plumber, huh? You do that too? Okay, I got you. All right, what, you going to med school too? Yeah, I got you. Okay, all this other stuff on a business card. You're going to chase them away. You tell the customers that you know what the hell you want to do. You're reaching up on the sun. You're going to run yourself ragged, trying to do everything at the same time at one moment. If you want to do fingerprint business, focus on that first. Let your customers tell you what else you need to do. Now, just because a lot of folks out there trying to do notarizations and fingerprinting, that's okay. That's a good mix right there. But you're getting too many out there trying to do that plus 10 other things at the same time all by themselves and trying to figure out why they're staying busy, staying broke. You get to the point where you're getting the point of you're getting extra desperate and then become a target. Not just a target for the customer, because they can smell a mile away. They can take advantage of you because you put yourself in that position, but also other so-called business opportunities. Oh, now I could do this over here too? Okay, I'm doing notarization. I'm a taxpayer. I'm doing drug testing. I'm doing Uber Eats. I'm selling real estate now too. I'm also doing life insurance now too. All this stuff at one time, and you're going like that, and you can't focus on one particular market. And it's going to hurt your business. I don't care what it is. Just slow your roll and focus on one market, one revenue stream. Get that growing to a point where it's sustainable, and you might venture into something else to go with it. Perfect match with it. But if you try to do everything at one time, I promise you, you're not going to be too successful. Now, some have made it, but they're looking ratchet right now. Okay? They're going crazy right now. We have folks who've been up and down doing everything, including truck driving. Okay? That too. All of this stuff, and people see them a mile away. And this is going to cause you to slow down your chance to be more successful faster in the fingerprinting industry there. Now, let's take this same concept and talk about those folks. Okay, I'm going to do fingerprinting, JW. You said that? We're going to roll with that one there. So I'm going to do ink card fingerprinting. I'm going to do mobile LiveScan fingerprinting. I'm going to do a LiveScan machine too, because I saw on YouTube I could do tons of things with LiveScan, and since I'm in my state, I'm doing my state too. But you may not be able to, and you bought this machine, spent $10,000, $15,000 for someplace this facility like that because you fell for the hype, and realize, okay, I got a machine, and you call us up asking for help. I'm going to ask you, what's your membership number? How can we help you? Well, I got this LiveScan device, can I fingerprint my machine? Did you check with your vendor who sold it to you? Yes, he said I could do LiveScan. Okay, then. What does LiveScan mean to you? Um, I got the ebook. Did you read the damn thing? And what? No, let me slow down. If you're going to invest in the machine, know what you're going to do with it. And make sure, just because it says you could do a live scan doesn't mean you could transmit. All live scan means is electronic fingerprinting. And that's it. Now, with the live scan device, you can do certain things with it. You might be able to transmit, but most of the time, you may not be able to transmit to your state you reside in. Most of the folks watching this video right now, majority of you will not be able to transmit to your state you reside in. Most of the states out there have their own vendor that allow that particular vendor, that one vendor, to transmit to that particular state. Most of the states out there only have one vendor that's able to transmit to that particular state. Just a handful of states are not like that. But most of them will not allow you to transmit to your particular state. And if you buy a machine thinking that you can, shame on you, because you fell for the hype. You didn't do homework. You didn't ask the right questions. You didn't ask the right question because you know what to ask at that time. The right question at that time. So powerful way of starting your business is knowing what questions to ask, doing your homework. And I strongly recommend, care what state you reside in. If you want to get into a fingerprint business, start off doing ink card fingerprinting. It's just old-fashioned paper and ink. And there's tons of people where you live at. Well, not everywhere, I should say, depending on where you stay, I should say. But there's lots of people in the states out there that need ink card fingerprinting. Maybe from not the state they reside in, perhaps for the fingerprints for a different state they want the license or the job to be at. So if you want to do ink card fingerprinting, perhaps in your state you cannot transmit to your state, but there's some folks, for example, for Texas, might live in Texas, but they want their fingerprints for a different state, i.e. travel nurses. They may want your fingerprints to be a travel nurse, and they want the license for Georgia, and the state of Georgia strongly recommends for the applicant to do 3 ink cards. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Know your states. Know the requirements there. Know the states around you. See what the requirements are for ink card fingerprinting. So, starting a fingerprint business, do your research. Don't go crazy out there trying to buy the biggest office, the fancy place out there, and buy all the extra furniture that you don't need right away just to fingerprint. Be careful if you plan to buy a LiveScan device and you think you might be able to transmit to your state, double check to make sure. Do your research. And just because you might do live scans from that machine for other reasons, does your market dictate that? Does your market dictate the need for that service? You need to know this. Oh, I could do FINRA. Yeah, whatever. But most broker dealers still love to do ink cards for FINRA purposes. Do your homework. Now, my Big J cup again here. Once again, don't sweat the small stuff. Do not sweat the small stuff. A lot of things you may need to do later on, you don't need to do it right away. You don't need to get yourself an LLC right the same day. You don't need to get some fancy trademark right away. Let you do your research and check with an attorney if it's viable for you to get him a trademark for your name or the services you may provide, if it's even able to get a trademark there. And that's for you trying to get some corporate entity. Check with your CPA, check with your tax advisor to see if it's viable right now to get a corporate entity. You may try to get a corporate entity now and get this fancy long ass name. You know, that name is scare away your customers. Does it mention something about fingerprinting? Is a name that can be used as a social accepted and easy to spell? Is one of those long 50 words, something like that name? Do your homework. And finally, let's focus on your branding. I'm gonna keep this simple. Don't go overboard. Don't go overboard with your marketing. Don't get these fancy flyers right away. Don't get these business cards, the high-end deluxe business cards right away. Focus on what pays the bills right now. Focus on what gives the business the best revenue right now and get that skilled. A fancy business card will not get you there. But perhaps some type of social media site, perhaps a listing with Google My Business, perhaps a listing on Yelp. Don't pay for it, especially starting off. Do it organically. Do it for free. The best way to start your business is be careful what you invest in right now. You have to invest in something for your business. Of course, this should be your training. Join our association. Get some great resources there at your fingertips. And be careful when you're trying to do large investments if you don't need to do it right away. I want to thank you guys for joining us here. Please subscribe to our channel and join our group called LiveScan Cafe. Just visit livescanuniversity.com. That's livescanuniversity.com. And for the first 150 members, not say members, those who join that particular group, you get a free course. Once you get a free course. Now, we got some other things on the back end I can't share with you yet, but they're coming out real soon. And part of that has to do with this video you listen to right now. All right. Be safe, have fun, get in trouble, but don't get caught. Bye for now. Thanks for listening. Take care, folks.